And welcome back into Cullman Today. I'm Debbie Wood along with Patrick Ray representing Doyle Real Estate. We've been talking about 2014, how we ended with great interest rates. Still a great time to buy a house.
Absolutely.
Great time to put your house on the market. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But also how 2015 is sort of trending and how it's going to be perceived. You know, this is going to be a good time of the year, or a good year, I think, to, I've been thinking about putting my house on the market. And for a while now,
I've been talking about it. I know a good real estate agent if you need one.
I know, I do too. I think either one of us could market the house, but been thinking about doing it for 2 or 3 years, and so now my goal is to get it spiffed up a little bit. Sure. And the yards look okay, but that's an important thing, is to get that curb appeal going, get the inside clutter down.
It is.
And get your house on the market if you want to sell.
It is. You know, it's hard to talk about that right now when it's 15 degrees outside.
I know.
And everything is frozen.
Yeah, and all your Christmas stuff might still be outside.
But it is around the corner. You're right. It is around the corner.
By at least February, March, don't you think?
You know, end of February, beginning of March, that's something that needs to be in the back of your mind, and actually the forefront of your mind if you're thinking about getting ready to put your house on the market. What do I need to do to spiff up the curb appeal?
Right.
Make sure the yard's cleaned up, picked up, limbs, leaves, if the grass has grown, whatever, just a quick little trim. Flower beds are weed-free, look neat, shrubs are trimmed up. If you've got shrubs blocking your house, blocking windows, trim those down so you can see more of the house. So you don't want to hide the house, which is the subject, from people being able to view it when they drive by.
Right.
The decks, you know, wintertime, leaves, pine straw, whatever tends to blow on it, clean those off.
Right.
If they need stained, if they need pressure washed, those little things can really add a lot of value and help the presentability of your home.
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
It's time. All right, and let's go back and talk just a little bit. Of course, interest rates are still good going into 2015, and sometimes you can buy them down just a little bit. Is that correct? Or if your credit score is really good, you can get a lower one. Is that correct? Do they look at your credit scores?
Yeah, absolutely. They look at your credit scores. You know, typical credit score for purchasing a home to be able to get a loan is probably going to be around 620. You know, if you're up in the 700-800s, it can help with the interest rate. But if you're really wanting to buy down, you buy down the points. You know, you put to buying down the points of the rate. Rates are so good right now. A lot of people aren't really doing that. You know, when the rates were maybe 8-9%, you could buy down to 6 or something like that, and that made a big difference.
We thought that was really something, didn't we?
We
now
did.
They're 4 and we're wanting them lower. That's unbelievable.
I know.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the commercial end of it. We are seeing a lot of growth. New shopping centers, a new Walmart Supercenter on 157. 157 has been trending for a long time in growth, hasn't it? I mean, out toward the interstate, but we're also seeing more growth back on 157 toward the hospital.
We are.
So do you think that's going to continue? We're also seeing a lot in the South.
You know, Debbie, it's just hard to say what's going to. You could almost bet on that anywhere there's a Walmart, you're going to have growth around it. So I expect 157 to really take off.
I bet.
Now, you've also got what used to be the North Shopping Center. Now I call it the Middle Shopping Center because it's going to be kind of in the middle of town.
Right.
With all the growth that's going on there, with the Publix and the Dick's Sporting Goods, and there's so many things coming in there. So I expect to see some growth there too. Now, you're somewhat limited in those areas because of the commercial property that's already there.
Right.
South End, I mean, you look, Applebee's has come in, and we've got an Applebee's down past Walmart. I think you're going to continue to see some growth there. You've got the Wendy's and the, I believe it's the Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes, down at Good Hope.
Good Hope.
Yeah.
So a lot of growth. We've seen a lot of growth on the commercial side. You've got the new ramp going in on 222.
That's true.
And you know, the BASS Hall of Fame, if that still comes in, if that does come to fruition, then you're going to have a lot of growth in that area. So the potential is there. We have a lot of growth now, but the potential is for even more growth.
Okay. And what I hear you saying then is because of that, that's going to create new jobs, which is going to create need and demand for housing.
That's correct.
And not just apartments, but purchases.
Absolutely.
And so now's the time.
It is. I think it's going to be a good time. I really do. You know, we're projecting here. Anything can happen, but I do foresee that you're going to see some growth in the residential side. I do think that home sales are going to pick up. It was a good year last year.
Right.
I mean, it has continuously, it's been slow growth. It has been not a leap and bound. It's been a slow growth, but we've continued to see a growth in home sales over the past few years. Are we out of the woods, out of the clear? I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't know. But from what we've seen projected, it does look like we're going to continue to grow in the sales market and new home sales and existing home sales. The rental market's been good.
Rental's good.
You know, we've at any given time we've had 2 or 3 rentals on our rent list, where in the past you might have 10, 11, 12.
Oh, absolutely.
So you know, there's potential there also. You know, I do see it trending. The government is doing some things that's going to help also. You know, it was just released the other day that they're going to cut the mortgage insurance premiums. Right now, it's like 0.5% of whatever the loan amount is. They're going to cut it to like 0.85%. So not to get into a long, drawn-out explanation, but basically what that's going to do is people who had a tough time getting a loan before might be having an easier time to get one now. Okay. Folks whose income maybe didn't meet the qualifications, that's going to drop that bar a little bit, and you might qualify now to be able to get a loan. So that's something to check into with whoever you might have talked to, a mortgage lender, and see if you are qualified now. Now, they have not gone into effect yet, but it has been announced that FHA is going to make those cuts. So that's a big thing. That's going to help a lot. So I think their estimate was once this goes into effect, around 250,000 new first-time home buyers will be able to purchase a home.
See, that's going to be great. I always think about all these kids that are graduating from high school and graduating from college, and you know they're going to be able to come out and find jobs and be a new home buyer, first-time home buyer. So it's a lot to think about. But one thing I wanted to add on the lake, I noticed in our, we both belong to the MLS locally, and we're sort of privy to this information, but there's been 5 big, nice houses on Smith Lake sold in the last 7 days, last 5 days, I'm sorry. So that says a lot about that area too.
There's a lot of growth on the lake.
So a lot of growth on the lake, and a lot of growth in our community, so we're excited. You want to add one thing before we close out this morning?
Yeah, I would. You know, how much time do I have?
Just about. All the time you want. Okay. He said all the time when you want.
The producer said I have all the time I want.
Uh-oh.
I'm a step above
we're in
Debbie
trouble.
now. I would like to talk about the trends that we're seeing in real estate in general for 2015. You know, in the past, you got your information from a magazine or a newspaper, and that is still somewhat viable. We are really seeing a trend, and I think as consumers, you know this already, but just to help reiterate what you know, we're seeing a trend towards internet. We're seeing a trend towards, the biggest trend, Debbie, is in the past, people going online to start their search for a home was 88%. That's where they begin, and they use that throughout the entire process for them finding a home. That's changed a little bit, and I think we're going to see a trend towards that also in 2015, is a lot of people are going to mobile devices.
Oh, that's true.
Their phones, their tablets, their laptops that have mobile capability on them. As a real estate agent, and Dole Real Estate, we are trying to make sure we stay ahead of that curve. So you need to make sure if you're going to list your house, whoever it is with, that they're up to date on the technology, that they have the capability to do the virtual tours, that they're getting good pictures of the property. You know, a lot of people now are using drones to go up and get pictures down below, and a lot of different options that are out there for a home seller and a home buyer when they're getting ready to start the process. So just do your homework and make sure that whoever is representing you is up to date with the technology, because that's where this is trending to. As consumers, y'all are very smart. Y'all are very savvy when it comes to the technology. As real estate agents in the past, we've kind of been a little bit behind that, but we've seen the trend, and now we are catching up and trying to stay ahead of the curve. So just as you go into 2015, and if you're looking to do these things, social media is important, but it's not the #1 thing. So be careful about that. Make sure that whoever you're with has placement on several different, and when I say several, I'm talking 30, 40, 50 different avenues
Right.
to get your information out there if you're a seller, because that's the key. That is the key, is having your property viable to as many people as that can see it. So just those are a few of the things we're seeing trend to.
Yeah.
So just be sure that you do your homework, do your research, and make sure that whoever represents you is up to date with all that.
That's right, and Patrick's doing a wonderful job trying to train all of us. You ought to see him trying to talk to the ladies in our office and explain what this is all about. So anyway,
They're doing a good job.
Yeah, we're getting up there, and that number to call, Door Real Estate, 256-739-1444. My number, 256-338-7234.
My number is 256-708-1872, and also go on Facebook, like Door Real Estate on Facebook. We've got a lot of news that's going on there every day. Our new listings, the virtual tours. We got a Twitter. We got a YouTube account. So
we're the
check
only
us out on all
one
those.
that has the real estate showcase of homes too.
We do.
That airs on WCQT. So
That's right.
make sure that you of course, we always get new listings each and every week.
Absolutely.
And so those are kept up to date. So we just want to thank you for tuning in today, and we hope you have a wonderful day. We hope to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you.